Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So I hope you're okay today and that you took advantage of the days that have already passed to maximize on your ibadah and also to pray for the Muslim Ummah and the sick and everyone, and also to change yourself, since we are talking about behavior change. So now today, last time we talked about what withdrawal symptoms were when it came to addiction. And when we talk of withdrawal symptoms, it's very important that we look at what are the misconceptions that people have, what are the myths that we have insofar as addiction recovery is concerned. Okay, so remember we said that we always ask, why is so and so not able to stop taking mira or smoking, while in Ramadan they don't do it. Okay, and we saw the symptoms that come with that as a result of the effect that the drugs or substance of abuse or the behavior of abuse had on the body of the person who is now a recovering addict. Okay, so because of that, it becomes that it's not so easy for someone to stay away from that drug because of the discomfort that comes with the recovery journey. It is a discomfort attributed to the effects that happened in that person's body, the change that happens in the brain, as well as even the physical body and the behavior. You know, that habit that has already been formed, it's not so easy to just stop. Okay, so this now brings us to the myths when it comes to addiction recovery. All right, so at times, just the same way we usually say that si awache tu cause aliwacha hakutumia hizi vitu during Ramadan, so kwa nini haizi kuacha? So we at times look at it as if addiction recovery only requires willpower. Willpower is very important in addiction recovery, but it's not the only thing. And with willpower alone, someone might not still be able to fully recover from addiction. So someone cannot just come today. Maybe there are one or two people who have miraculously prayed and said, I am stopping and I'm stopping, and they stop. But you'll realize that maybe when they said they are stopping, they were also maybe very regular in their ibadah, they were congregating with other people. So you find that there are other habits that came in, but not only the willpower. But the willpower is important, but willpower alone is not enough. Okay? Ile roho ya kusema ati nataka kuacha ni muhimu, but it is haitoshi. Okay? Inafaa kuja na mambo zingine. Sawa? Then, saa ingine, I think we talked a lot about detoxification, na tukasema even when you detoxify yourself, you are detoxified, it does not mean you will immediately recover kwa sababu ya the other effects. It will help you stabilize physically na nini, but when it comes to now the deeper effects, the inflammations in the brain, the behavior that you are already used to for 3 years, for example, it cannot be changed with some hours or some days of detoxification. Okay? Then there is the relapse. People usually look at relapse as failure, and at times it's something, and I'm talking about this with a lot of compassion. It's not easy having a family member who is going through addiction. So it creates anxiety. And talking about that, and maybe I'll talk about it some more when I'm talking about the action plan, it's always good to do your part as someone who is a caregiver and supporting someone. And especially with addiction, we call it a family disease because everyone is involved. It's always good to have that compassion with yourself as someone who maybe their child has gone into addiction, their loved one has gone into addiction. No one ever imagines that someone they love will get into addiction. I remember the story of Nabi Nuh, for example, when he was building the Sakina and he wanted the child, alayhi salam, Nabi Nuh alayhi salam, to board the Sakina, the ship. Is it a ship? Okay. So, and the son did not. So imagine the disappointment of a parent, the sadness, there is that attachment you have with your kids that when they do something that is against Allah, it really pains. But now, as a parent or as a caregiver or someone who a sibling is into it, you have to have that compassion with yourself and know that do all that you can, but again, don't be too hard on yourself. Have Allah a lot in your journey with this person that you're helping, and pray for them, and also pray for that peace of mind also for yourself. So back to now the myths that we were talking about. And this is now when I was talking about the relapse, and when people look at it as failure, it's not failure actually. It's part of the process. If you remember when we talked about the behavior change, there is the contemplation, pre-contemplation when you want to change, then the contemplation, you start seeing, yeah, maybe I should change. Then you start work on changing, you take action, and you maintain the behavior. So in the course of that, maybe due to certain triggers and maybe going back to people who influence someone to go back into this addiction, you find someone relapses, okay? So when someone relapses, now that's the time to re-strategize again and see what is it that I can do better. How can I make my relapse prevention plan or maybe my recovery plan watertight and all that. So, and at this point, it's also good to remember how Allah also created us knowing we are human beings who go wrong. So the same way in the process of healing, it's always good to remember that at times someone can relapse. It is normal and it is okay. And once someone relapses, then that is the point whereby you can sit and re-strategize and take the corrective action to make it more watertight as that person goes forward. Okay, so relapse is not failure. That is a myth that people believe in, that when someone relapses, huyo sasa alisharudi, hata nilishamwacha, nilishawachana na yeye, nilishachoka na yeye, unashika kichwa. No, don't give up. Relapse is something that is part of the healing process. So while recovering, all will be well. It's very closely related to relapse, because while recovering, imanishi vitu, at times, and I think people, when they go maybe to a rehabilitation centers and all that, they really expect things to work very fast, and they expect that vitu zitaenda nywe, like straight line. That's not what happens. So unapata, kumbuka we talked about also the symptoms za withdrawal. Mtu anakuwa irritable, nini. So imanishi things will go so well the way we want it to be. So maybe these things going well is our expectations, because we want this person to heal, because we really want perfection. But remember, we are not perfect. Nothing is perfect in this world. So itakuwa na ups and downs. It's very important to understand, and especially families, because families will deal with this person in helping them. Families will need to take care of themselves also and all that. So having that in mind really prepares people who are taking care of people who are going through addiction, people who are supporting them, and also the people who are recovering themselves, knowing that it's not going to be straight. Okay? Then addiction is just like it's only about a substance or behavior, and addiction recovery is just about abstaining from that substance or behavior. I think we've talked a lot about the fact that it just doesn't happen like that, and it's not just saying saleo now that I've been using maybe fegi fulani, cigarette, I say sasa leo sitakula hii sigara, then nitaisha, no, iishi haraka hivyo. It's not just about that. So it's very important to know the myths. Why is it important? Kwa sababu these myths and misconceptions, they put pressure on people. They put pressure on families. And with pressure, remember already kuna ile pressure nini? Yeah, the fact that this person is going through the irritability, anxiety, depression of the withdrawal na nini. So imagine tena unajiekea pressure ingine ya nini? Unajiekea pressure ingine ya kuona kwamba huyu mtu akishaamua tu anawacha, inakuwa ni hivyo na inafaa kuwa hivyo. Then this person does not stop or does not really, or they relapse. You see, it becomes a lot of pressure and it makes things worse. That's why it's very important to be aware of myths and know that these are not really facts, and they have more negative effects in the healing process than positive. Yeah. So up to there, we are going to finish this particular session. And once again, remember us in dua and the Muslim Ummah and the Sikh and everyone, inshallah. And I wish you good Ramadan on the remaining days. So I'll see you again in the final session, where I'm going to talk about action. What's the way forward? What plans can you put in place as a family or someone who is supporting a friend or a loved one who is going through addiction recovery? What are the things and measures to put in place? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.